Good day, my name is Jerry, and welcome to Kathon's Journey, where I will be showing my journey throughout the Philippines and Asia. My motto is, go ahead and take the risk, no matter what anyone says, as to live an adventure for a fun and fulfilling life. Alright, this video is on my first year here in the Philippines. I arrived in May of 2023. I believe it was May 5th. I took off and arrived May 6th. I through Taiwan. I will show my plan upon arrival when I came here for my first year. Basically, I was planning to move every 3 or 4 months to different places and explore those areas, and I'll explain that in the maps, which is next. Then I will go into my major costs for the first year, which includes the basic monthly living expenses with the rent, utilities, which obviously include phone bill, electric, water, internet, stuff like that you'll see on the spreadsheet, along with some other my costs for my excursions, that's traveling around that I did in each area, and then I'll get into some more detail and some more miscellaneous expenses. At the end, I will wrap up with my first year experiences and provide a perspective on living here and the type of income styles that based on cost of income with what kind of style you could expect to have here living in the Philippines. All right, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, I'd like to start off here on my one-year summary on basically what my idea was when I came here and what I've done in the first year from May to May of 23 to May of 24. Basically, my plan was every 3 to 4 months to go to different places, go around that area to establish if I would like to live there or not. My first 4 months, again, I flew into Cebu first, right from the U.S. I stayed at Mactan Island, and basically I went around Cebu. Wherever you see these hearts, most of them is where I've been. So I did a lot there in Mactan Island. I went up to Battalion Island, Malapascua, Camotes Islands, all individual trips over to I can't say that word, but Moboa and Kawasan Falls down here at Oslab and Simoleon Island. Each of those were individual trips, excursions I did for the first 4 months. That was there in Cebu, and I do have videos on each one of those on my channel there. After that, I went over to Bohol, Bohol twice to figure out where I want to live, and I knew I was going to live on Panglao somewhere, but I did find a place. And then from there, I went around Bohol once I did move there for the second 4 months. So my first 8 months, 4 to 8 months, I was over here. You see I did a lot over here in Panglao, but I went to Anda, a lot of good diving over here, nice beaches, went around some islands over here. I went to islands down here, scuba diving, and went around Bohol through the Chocolate Hills, down here at Lobak for the river cruise, and there's just quite a bit to do around Bohol, and I really did like Bohol quite a bit. From there, I went over to Dumaguete, which is very popular for expats. That's people, foreigners that come over to stay over here in the Philippines. And you can see basically the southern Negros or Negros Oriental, Dumaguete area. I visited around this area quite a bit. Falls, over here is Sipalay on the beaches. Siquijor Island, I've been there like 3 times. It's a great island. It's got a lot to do here. Nice resorts, real nice area over here. Apo Island down here, and just scuba diving and again, enjoying the area. And I did that for the last 4 months of my 4 years, or my first year here, and that was my plan, to find out where I want to live. Currently, I'm up in Iloilo. I moved here at the mid-May about, and I'm currently up there in Ilo, but again, that's not the first year. Maybe that'll be in a second year video. And so I'm only going to do Cebu, Bohol, and Dumaguete area on this summary. And again, I did go to Siargao over here, which you took when I was in Dumaguete, so I had to take a ferry across to Cebu, drive up, take a flight from Cebu over to Siargao and back. But again, that was within the first year, and that will be on the cost list. That's the only flight that I had to take during all my excursions here for the first year. So with that, we'll go to the spreadsheet. So right here is the Cebu tab showing my costs living there. So again, 4 months in Cebu. I do show my flight in here at $600 and almost $70. Again, that was May of 2023. I booked it like right after Christmas, so basically January of beginning of 2023. Here's my lodging. The first month of all May, I did do an Airbnb before I even arrived. I had set up, and that included utilities and internet at about $400 US for the month of May. After that, I did move into Mactown, Newtown. It was a 1-bedroom condo, definitely upper scale at $26,000 per month. It had a pool, it had a fitness center, was really a nice place around a lot of American amenities in that area. And that was $78,000 or $1,471 for the 3 months I was there, and total with the lodging for the Airbnb is about $1,870. Supplies, I did buy some utensils and some other things when I moved in. Transportation, the first month of May when I first got there, first thing I did was get a scooter. I did get a scooter for about 5,000 pesos or $94 a month. I used that for May, and then during that time I looked for a motorcycle, and I did buy a Z400. Now, I do not have this motorcycle on my cost sheet here, except right here. See in red, I didn't add it in a summary. Every person is different in how when they come, how they want to do their transportation. You can buy a car, you can buy a bike, a trike, whatever, or just go around and live in the city and get local transportation that way. I do have parking I had to pay for at the condo, so that's in here. With gas, I thought I went through. And again, here's my utilities. Electric, again, May doesn't have anything because it came with the Airbnb, but here's June and July, and these are all off of the actual bills that came out. Here's water that I used, again, nothing in May, and then June, July, and August. And then internet, and then phone service. Now my phone service, I had little issues in the beginning, that's why it's a little bit more expensive, but I was calling in the States a lot. I had some other issues I had to take care of, so that's why it's upper a lot more. It's been about 1,000 pesos probably about the last 4 or 5 months, so it's been pretty constant now. I do have a gym on here. I did join Shangri-La. It's a highly 5-star resort that has 2 gyms there, 3 major pools, nice beaches. I did decide to join that, even though I did have a gym in my condo. The equipment was really old, and I didn't like going there very much, and so I went ahead and purchased that at Shangri-La. Here's some groceries that I have in here of what I bought for the condo, and then going out for high American restaurants. That's basically eating towards a Western style dinners, middle of the road, and then the normal PH venue, which is basically how the Philippines would eat on when they're out. And basically you can have like fried chicken and rice and a Coke for like 150, 200 pesos, which is like less than $3. So or again, middle of the road is not very high expensive restaurants, but you're just going out and eating but at some restaurants. So again, but I didn't have this in my summary for totals. I do take it in and out just because everybody's individual and how they eat. It's arbitrary based on, again, the individual person. So I try to eat no more than twice a day. Sometimes I eat once a day, and then sometimes I fast for 2 or 3 days. So again, but I average, I'll show you in a bit how much I think the food costs. So here's Panglao, same thing. Lodging was $20,000 a month there. Apartment was a 2-bedroom. Apartment there close to the beaches, had no parking issues there. Electric, as you see, it's right here per the utilities. Again, electric is pretty much the same cost here, maybe a little bit more than the United States, but I did run the electric, the air conditioners a lot. But again, these were pretty small window units too. So phone service, you see it's coming down a little bit, but again, I did change the plan, and I'm pretty much $9.99. I did have a fitness gym membership there also that I went to, and then here's the groceries here in Panglao. It was a little less than Cebu, but not as good as Dumaguete. Dumaguete was the best, which I'll explain in a minute. So from Dumaguete, it's a 2-bedroom bungalow, pretty much right on the ocean. I could walk there in about 1 or 2 minutes. Real nice place. Was paying 25,000 pesos a month, and basically a little under $500. Parking and that was free. Again, here's my electric bills for January through April, phone service, internet. Right here, again, I also had a gym there, and here's the food again. All right, and then these yellow ones, these yellow are the tabs for my individual excursions, which I went on. Most of these are on my YouTube channel already, and that I show for the cost when I go somewhere. And so I picked Malapascua. It was a real good trip, great diving. So I got gas in here when I drove from Cebu up to where you get on the ferry to go over to Malapascua. We had to rent a scooter because you can't take your motorcycle over there. There was no flight. There was a ferry. Nothing for the bike. We had to park it there, but the cost for the passengers, lodging there while I was there, is basically $27 a night. My scuba diving trip, I did 3 dives, food when I was there, drinks when I was there. I did buy some souvenirs, 2 t-shirts, dive shirts, and tank tops, and drinks or whatever. I gave some money to kids and whatever else is here. So these are on individual, which if you go to my channel on YouTube, Kathan's Journey, every trip that I go on, I do put a cost sheet on there for that trip. All right, so now let's wrap this up on the summary sheet. So right here is Cebu. Total cost per month is $788 for Panglao, the whole $546 for Dumaguete, $659 or $664. Now this is just rent, and this is not food and excursions and stuff like that. This is basically just rent, utilities, and what I show on the summary sheet as indicated. Now here's the travel excursions. These yellow are the travel excursions, as I said, where I go, and these are the individual costs for those. You'll see, if I go locally, like when I went to Mantac, island hopping around my condo wasn't too much, but where the only one I had to fly out of was Siargao. You can't go, let's take a couple days to get there by boat. You have to fly there out of Cebu, and at that time I was living in Dumaguete, so I had to take a ferry across to Cebu Island and drive about 4 or 5 hours up to Cebu City, and then fly out of there to Siargao, and then come back the same way. So obviously it was a little bit more expensive because of that, and the flight was for 2 people. And then here's my food. Again, food is arbitrary, like I said, but based on the locations, I know these are correct for what I tried to record and estimate here for each one of the individuals. Cebu is probably the most expensive, Panglao underneath that, and Dumaguete for cost of living outside of the rental, because again, I had a very nice bungalow on the beach. It was still cheaper in the overall cost of living, and therefore is cheaper on the food. And on average, again, about $292, and that's what I figure, about $250, $300 US a month is plenty for food. And some of that was even with 2 people that I here that I'm living with. So here's the totals for the year, breaking down. I'm going to just US dollars. Right here's pesos. Here's the US dollars per year. But for the cost per month with travel excursions and the food, that's all of this that's above, it's basically $1577 per month for, again, the food and travel. Now that's not my total cost. I'll get more into that. But this would be, if you stick to what I have here, basically this is what I'm showing for the cost. Without the food and that, because again, individually, but you want to do some excursions or travel a little bit, about $1288. But if you take out the food and the excursions, this is $956 a month in order to live here in Cebu for the minimal requirements, which is rent, utilities, internet, phone, stuff like that. Not food, not daily spending, not something like that. And everybody says, can you there's always videos on YouTube, can you live in the Philippines for 1,000 pesos? It definitely is not living, it would be surviving, and that although the places that I have up here living is pretty nice, and you could definitely cut back on some of that and then live in a less costly area, but to me you still would be surviving, I believe. So what's the cost that's not in here? Obviously, as I said, it's the motorcycle, the costs and the flight, stuff like that I had. General transportation is not in here, anything on my motorcycle. Health insurance, bike insurance, doctors, go see dentist, daily spending, outside of the excursions, miscellaneous and individual expenses, and then some small local trips I take if I want to go outside and go motorcycle riding locally for a day or two, which I do quite a bit. And then I may go out and spend some money in, but I don't keep track of every dollar like that. So there's a lot on here that I don't put as I said listed. I do purchase a lot of items from Lazada and Amazon. I definitely spend more than I spend about double this amount that you show up here, 1,500. I spend about 3,000, 3,200 a month, but I live in a very comfortable lifestyle. I buy what I want, I eat where I want, I travel where I want, and so it's pretty easy to do that on that amount. And actually, I don't even, my checking account is still going up from the money that I have going into it. So I don't spend as much as I have going into it. So I know I could do it for a lot less, but again, if you want to come here, you want to know what I think of the good living or expenses and everything are, I say $1,500 US dollars is the minimum requirements to have minimal living here. A little bit above surviving, you have an extra $500. You wouldn't travel much, you eat okay, maybe a beer or two once in a while, or going out Friday night or something, but you wouldn't be able to do it every weekend. Definitely no spending on women and drinks and partying and all that stuff. So 2,000, you could have a decent life here. I think that would probably be about the minimum that I would recommend to have a decent life and to do what you want, travel a little bit, go out and party a little bit. Not every weekend, but go out. I don't again drink or party that much, but I think you could here on $2,000 a month and have a decent lifestyle. Once you get above that, 2,500 is more towards the upper middle class by U.S. standards, I believe. You'd be doing very well if you want to live like U.S. standards. 3,000 or above, you're doing very good. You'd have a very good lifestyle. Again, like I do, I can pretty much spend what I want, go where I want, eat where I want, and travel quite a bit. So that's very good. And basically over anything over 3,000, as I saw on a YouTube channel, I can't remember who it was, but they said 3,400 pesos or $3,400 is basically you're in the 1% of the population here, for the amount of income you have per year. So again, wrapping it up, I would definitely say 1,000 you can get by with, but you'll be surviving, not really living. I think 1,500 would be the minimum you would need, and if you have 2,000 or more of that, you'll be doing pretty good. So I hope this was educational and take it forward, and if you're planning to come here, give you some evidence or support to do that. And I guess that's about it. If anybody wants this spreadsheet, feel free to contact me on my page again, YouTube, Keita's Journey. I will go ahead and I can send this to you. Matter of fact, I'll do a little bit of screenshots here if you like while I'm wrapping up. Again, right here's the 1 year summary. Go down here, you can just pause it, take a screenshot. I'll each one of these for a minute. Overall, I very much like the Philippines. I definitely was the right decision for me to come here. I'm really enjoying it. I like the adventure lifestyle. I love scuba diving and I love the ocean. So this was a great place for me. They do, almost everybody here speaks English, and there's everything in writing is pretty much in English. So there's no problem with communication here. So I definitely would, if you have interest to come here and you can afford it, you think you'll want to go ahead and pursue that, I definitely would recommend it. Okay, again, if you like this spreadsheet, feel free to contact me, and I appreciate your time. Have a good day. Bye.
You know what to do. go ahead and hit those buttons. And thank you for watching Kathon's Journey.